Okay.
Okay.
So I feel like the whole scene where Vincent was telling Leo's wife
Mhm.
that Leo was passed
Mhm.
for like story purpose and like emotional purpose. I feel like that scene could have been a lot better than just
Yeah.
having music play and then them being like them barely hearing, not even hearing what he's saying.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you watch a lot of movies, like sad scenes are done well when it's like silent and all you hear is just the purpose the person who's like crying or like freaking out
Yeah.
and you just hear
Yes.
them and only them. I feel like they could if they did that, that would have been gold.
Okay. Um, which ending do you think was more emotional? Like,
Like,
which one do you think fits better into the story that we played?
I feel like Vincent's death was a lot more emotional
Yeah.
because with that note in the letter and him not like be able to fulfill his last promise of being
Yeah.
a good father and the husband that he was. I feel like that was just a whole bunch of more emotional, a lot more
Mhm.
emotional than getting a soft music background with not even hearing what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. I the one thing about the Vincent death is that I don't think the music really tied in versus the other ending. Like I feel like the second ending, the music was more suited
Yeah,
to that ending. The first one belonged, not this type of music. I feel like a different song would have been needed for the first ending.
yeah.
I don't know which one is like the one I would go for like the the good ending. I mean, you can't really tell which is the good ending because regardless, a family loses its father. One with um
Good
an
qualities.
infant and a child.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just the only difference is the father being taken away. The criminal that probably turns good, maybe not, who knows. Or the
Good
policeman that
guy.
resigns from his position at the end.
And as much as I loved the like the two-person game with like the way this
Mm-hmm.
does playthroughs, the problem is with that is whoever character you whichever the player like is connected to whichever character,
Mm-hmm.
the ending that's just gonna either become like either like no way to agree on like who actually should
Yeah.
have gotten
Died.
like
Yeah.
yeah. Like
I agree.
the ending was like the only problem I had with this game.
Yeah.
But everything else was awesome.
You know, at first, I kind of did suspect that he was undercover, but then I brushed it off because he stopped saying it. He kept repeating to Leo, I'm gonna do this with or without you. He said that like 6 different times inside of the prison
Uh-huh.
and before he met his family.
Uh-huh.
So that's what like I was kind of getting at. I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think this guy's legit. But I kind of brushed it off, and then I just assumed that he was actually the real deal. And then at the end, he curveballed me. I was not expecting it, but I was at first, and then I lost interest in that.
But,
But it was a good story. Just the ending, it
yeah.
wasn't even a bad like. It wasn't even a bad ending. You could say it's a really
It was
great
it,
ending for a
it
video game, just not this one.
yeah, cuz it would have been a good ending for like I would say like Call of Duty cuz
Yeah,
they mostly focus on action, but this game focused on a lot of the story.
Yes, it was a lot about family matters and just getting to Harvey. I don't feel like one of them should have died.
Yeah,
Um, I definitely could see them like I instead of dying, I wish they would have had different choices to where like you hated each other or you like stayed in touch or maybe just never talked to each other again. But I don't think the death was a I definitely love the ending, don't get me wrong, but
yeah.
just not in the way that it should have been.
But what I'm wondering is like what I don't like is the way Leo reacted to finding out that Vincent
He
was a
was a
cop,
cop.
because he was
I
gonna.
don't know. I think
Cause
that was fine. I don't see a problem with that. He's a literal gangster. Not really a gangster, but like
a
he's
criminal.
a lawbreaker. He's a criminal. He any criminal that yeah, I'd say Leo was fine there. I don't know what you mean. Like, yeah, I could see him running away like that, doing anything he can to get away.
But and I don't know why I don't like how Vincent like just ended um Leo's life at the end there. Like that doesn't seem like a thing Vincent would actually do.
Yeah,
Because all throughout the game he's been
true.
like, let's
Yes.
not hurt, try not to hurt anyone. All right, like that's all he was trying to do. And then the ending, like he could like try to stop the bleeding. The bleeding, the gunshot was not in a place that would actually like.
Middle of the stomach, buddy. Yeah, yeah, it would.
But he didn't like actually try to help him or anything.
Yeah. I mean, by that point, Leo had already accepted it.
But like out of everything that they did, and Vincent like
Hmm.
could see that Lee was actually a
Yeah,
pretty much a good guy.
yeah, I agree.
Like that,
Um,
like that just goes away from like who Vincent is.
I definitely think there should have been a way to compromise between the both of them. Like without, like, I feel like Vincent for for Leo helping him get the diamond back and get revenge, he should be off scot-free. That was what I was thinking in my mind when I was running away. I was like, okay, I should be able to get out of this. But no, one of them have to die. I don't feel like one of them had to die in that
No,
situation. There's definitely a lot of different ways they could have went with it, and I just don't feel like the death was the best one, the best course of action.
and as much as I like the last fighting scene, I feel like you should have added the option of not having to
To
punch.
shoot, yeah, or to shoot, yeah,
Yeah, like
because you had that gun, you couldn't press circle,
you
you
couldn't
couldn't
move it at all.
unzoom out, you couldn't move it.
Like I feel like to like it could have been because they're like doing like a whole bunch of like wherever your choice leads to release the ending. So
Yeah,
like Walking Dead
exactly.
style.
Yeah,
But
like Telltale.
even
And then
until
you can't do it at the end, and I think that's a big problem. Like, don't get me wrong, EA made a terrific game.
yeah,
Just
they
the
made it.
ending didn't. The
It
ending kind of lowered it
yeah.
for me.
Like even in Telltale's games, like you get choices up until like the very last second.
Yes, and then you still get to make a choice, and then it
Yeah,
ends there
yeah. But with this game, like
based on your choices.
they they like dragged out the whole fight scene without like any options whatsoever, and you could
Yeah,
and by every by
you had
with
to
this
shoot at them,
you had to fight him.
couldn't stop, couldn't run away. Yeah, I totally agree.
I,
Honestly, because of the ending, I'd rate it an 8 out of 10. Like, not gonna lie, I think the ending was kind of like both endings. Not saying that I just don't feel like one of them should have died. I don't think this is a game where it's meant for that to happen. I don't see that.
from
Well, obviously it did happen, but
for
shouldn't have went down like that.
for me the endings like they could have did a lot more with the ending.
Yeah,
Like
there's so
that
much more
ending was
potential
cheap.
versus what they did.
That ending was cheap. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm not saying like because of their budget and stuff, but like, like everything they put into this game, like with like the way the game was, like the play, the way you can play the game, like all the transitions and all the like the story,
the free roam
the ending just like no,
negated all of it.
that
So the game was mostly free roam, right? But then at the end, you can't. When you want to free roam, you can't free roam when you want to. Can't free roam when it matters the most. When you want to make a decision that changes the course of the game entirely, you can't do that.
make it.
You can only make the small decisions that don't matter in the scale of things. Which I think that, I mean, EA, this was a great first try, right?
Well,
Like I don't think they've ever made a choice game before.
no,
You know?
they have Mass Effect. Mass Effect is like
No.
Mass
Okay.
Effect has a lot
Yeah.
of decisions in this game,
I
but
can see that. Yeah. I
none
played
of,
Mass Effects.
yeah, none of it really like you don't really get like, but the story wise wasn't that good.
Hmm.
Like Mass Effect,
I think this is. Continue. Go ahead.
like
Sorry.
Mass Effect, that's a great game, but since it's sci-fi, it's less and less. It's not as relatable. But
Yeah.
with this game, like this could happen to anyone,
Yeah.
whether it be like you're a cop or you're a criminal, but it could just like happen to anyone, like even outside of prison.
Hmm.
Like just like the story layout, like the person who you're helping and you come close to turns
It
their
backstab
back
you.
on you, like
Yeah.
and not just like
But
that even hits home even further, but then the ending,
it shouldn't.
like you
That's not
come
how all games have to end. You don't always have to
have
end
to
with a
die.
death. You know.
Yeah, if you come
You don't
close to
always
a
have to.
person, in real life, if I come close to a person and that person cross me, I'm not gonna kill them though, because I know the person they are.
Not who everybody else thinks them to be.
Like
Because
I
like
know.
Leo, you could tell he's an astounding guy. He just he did one bank. And like if you think about that, your choices speak a lot louder than words. But
Actions.
yeah. Sorry, not choices, actions. Sorry
Yeah.
about that. It's just like I feel like that shouldn't have happened. Yeah, it was a great try for this type of game. I really do.
Like
I
this
think this is a
style of
great game.
like,
But you need to work on it. You really do. Um, yeah. I think you did really great with the budget you had. I really
and,
do.
And like, but it's more like the story. If you're gonna be doing like whole bunch of just
Yeah,
deep
it's not even
story
about the
stuff
budget
type
either.
game, like the gameplay was amazing. Like the transitions, the style of the style of the ways you can play, like that hospital scene when you're trying to escape the cops. Like one of them was like a Street Fighter.
Yeah, and
Street
then when
Fighter
you went
action
through the
scene.
vent onto the other character, that was amazing. But
Like
just
the
you got the action down. You
acting.
have plot down, but you gotta finish the story off correctly.
Like that's like
And
a
have meaning to everything you put in the game. Every little prop, everything you do. Kind of like if you've ever watched Breaking Bad, everything in that show was literally important. No joke. Like almost everything was important in that show. And that's what I want to see with video games. I want to see like, oh, you see that fire extinguisher? Yeah, it's not important. 2 years later into the video game, bam, it's like your saving grace. Bam, there you go. It was like the key to everything. There's something inside of it. It's narcotic drugs. Bam, whatever. I don't care how you place it. Just I want to see in depth. I just don't want to see a bland story that has no curves or like thought into them, you know?
hmm And like this game, like, and they're like talking about like what you said, but like even like when they had like later like when you find out that he's a crossed, he was a cop.
Double cross you, yeah.
Like that was a great story plot, but
Yeah, I
like
liked that.
and they did that well. It's just like the ending. Like most movies, most bad movies, like I'm pretty sure everything like the either like the movie like the special effects and probably some of the writing is really well, but the ending, like the ending defines a lot of it.
It really does.
Like if
You
you
start off strong, you continue on strong, and you finish strong. You can't falter in any three.
you can't, you can't just like you can't end a story just with death.
It's like, oh yeah, he's dead. Bye. Over.
Even like
I mean,
even though like most people don't expect someone to die, it's a stupid thing, and like you want to change, you want to you want to like shock them.
yeah.
It's a stupid thing because anyone could tell how like that ending was going to end. That ending was
Yeah,
going to end
we called it like
way earlier
we
in the
called
game.
it like an hour and a half into the game. We were
Like someone
like,
was going to die.
I'm pretty sure I'm gonna die. Garrick was like, nah, I'm gonna die.
We had a whole argument,
And-
dude.
Yeah, we
and
did.
it lasted like 5 minutes.
And you could also predict that in this screen right here, you could predict that this was going to the last mission. You could predict that. This game was very predictable, but the one thing they did
Devin,
was so dumb.
okay.
The one thing that I could not predict, or at least I fooled myself, was that he was a cop.
Yeah.
Undercover.
That
That was the one thing, and I loved that. I really did.
Yeah, that was a great story plot they had.
Yeah, plot point. It's amazing. That was an amazing plot point.
And this was like the first time. I'm not gonna fault them too much. It's like the first time making this type of like deep story type of game.
Yes, yes.
But like, but that story plot that was great, and that since it was technically their first try at like something like this, well done.
You gotta finish strong.
Bravo for you. Alright, you had a couple of points where a lot of it was guessable and stuff.
But think of it like a tree, okay? You start off in one lane, 2 come out, and then 2 come from each of those. So then there's 4 different ways you can go. If you think about it like that, you can also retie other branches together, and then they come back. But you gotta have some sort of different ending. You can't just have one ending for one person dying and then the other person dying. That's not a good tree story game. If you really want choices in your video games, make them matter. Don't just put them in there and be like, oh, cool mechanic. You can talk to people. No, you gotta put that as your main theme of the video game.
Like
To just enforce that.
like that trailer, like the trailer that someone was getting their game on, and that lady was sitting outside her trailer,
Yes.
like wonder where her husband is, and like
Yeah.
how like you could go back and tell her that girl that her husband is in the trailer, like that was just a fun thing.
That's what you want in games. You want to change the environment around you. You don't just want to go through it. You want to experience it and have an effect on it.
Like,
and that's what I think this game lacked. It definitely lacked it a little bit.
Because that one scene, that was like my favorite, like one of my favorite scenes out of this whole game, was just being able to do that.
Yeah.
Because
it was something like straight out of like The Last of Us or the Walking Dead video game or Batman Telltale series. It was like on par with it. And that's what I love about those video games. They're interactive and they change around you. And that is what I want to see from different people. I want to see different people's takes on it. And I want people to improve it.
In this game, I could tell like they've seen a lot of games and they copied a lot of styles. Like you can notice a lot of resemblances to The Last of Us.
We've said that a lot in this playthrough.
I'm not gonna stop saying it like that. Like a lot of it is like
feels like it a lot.
The Last of Us,
It
like,
definitely does.
Last of Us was a great game. That it won like over
It was.
230 awards, because that's how much of
Yeah,
a
and
great game it was.
I feel like that's a great game to take notes off of as well.
Yeah,
I mean, you
like-
can't really blame them. You can't really blame them.
And so, and I'm glad that they copied some of their styles, or they like tried to format some of that style. But then again, The Last of Us had some choices too, and those choices
Yeah.
actually did matter, as well.
That's facts. That is also true. The ending didn't change regardless. But yes, I agree. I think that is a great place to end it here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. This was A Way Out.
This was
I was here.
This was Prison Break, the podcast.
Yep.
We literally just turned
been
the
me.
whole ending of this just to a podcast. Like,
Yes, exactly. So it's
This-
an entire podcast. We did this in one sitting, 100%. Guaranteed. We definitely are not lying. We did it, 100%.
we did not wait a whole
Marathon.
day just to play.
Bam. Yep, straight up, exactly. But it has been me, Ishi Frost.
It has been very blessed. Come check out my channel if you're watching this on the XG
Yep,
Frost's
link
channel.
in the description. I will put it in the description. I have to do that to the first video. And all the
Sure.
ones past it. I think he will do the same. But we'll see you guys in the next things we do.
It's been fun.
Peace out, guys.
Have a good day.